policies, and the second one is 86 ways to say very good. That's so good. Find new ways to say that. We're going to get creative. Way to go, Marie. You figured that out. So if a kid's trying to solve something, tell them, hey, I bet you can figure that out. If you need help, let me know. That's another tool. I just give you, like, parents paying a lot of money for me to tell them that. Seriously. Don't do everything for them, but be present as a support. And when they figure it out, have 86 ways to tell them very good. Okay. Secondly, Pat's going to go through safety issues and some camp rules. We're going to go through these again because these are super important. Abe mentioned that a large portion of our budget is our liability insurance, right? It's not about money, though. It is about everyone's safety and well-being, and that's what these rules are really all about.
Yeah. All right, the fun stuff. Sure. So, some of the things that we're going to talk about now, camp rules, a lot of fun. More up, closer. So let's start with the reporting abuse. Now Maria touched on this a little bit earlier. So for you, the important thing is tell Maria. As far as abuse, we know that a lot of these children have abuse in their background, and as Maria said earlier, it's not your job to find that out. It's not your job to go looking for it. Please don't do that. If a child discloses something to you, then we are mandated reporters, and again, Maria, because it's not something you're equipped to handle on your own, and nor do we want you to try to do that. So again, we're not there to do therapy with the kids, we're not there to try to fix them, we're there to love them. And just remember that piece about that. The next one for me, John, please. Can I do it from here?
No.
What? Okay, sorry. No, I want to go to the next one.
So this is not connected.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is.
We had technical issues.
I got it. It's not connected to there.
Just tell me where you want
It's
to
just
be.
connected to me.
Yep.
I want to be on the safety issues reporting suspected abuse. So our focus is fun. And remember, again, creating life-changing moments. Yeah. That one. Exactly. So that's all I want to really say about the reporting piece, because we've gone over that and we will go over it yet again. And in that part, there's a little piece about calming the anxious child, which is the next slide. If a child begins to disclose and is very anxious about it, exhibiting those behaviors, is it not? It's not okay. It's not connected to that? Okay, I got it. So when you do that, the most important thing about when children are upset like that is just to listen to them. Be there for them, value what they're saying. And that's your job. Just be there. We don't need to try to fix it. We just need to listen to it. If it needs to be reported, we'll report it. But as far as being safe for both you and the child, your job is just to listen to them and validate what they're telling you. Right? I want to talk a little bit about medical issues. Okay, so medical issues. For medications, and many of these children are on medications, and we'll talk about this on Sunday about the badges and everything. Oh, sorry. So for medications, the children will be on, so many of the children will be on medications. That's my job. So all medications will be with me, and you will bring the child to me to receive their medications. And if you have any medications that you normally take on a daily basis, they need to be away from the children and locked up. Again, that would be me. So, yeah, any medication. Prescribed, over-the-counter, nasal spray, anything. Children will look for it and use it if they can, if they have learned that behavior. So it needs to be with me. I'm not dispensing medications to adults. You just come in and if they'll be in a box and you can go take your own medications whenever you want, but they do need to be locked up and away from the children, so just understand that. We will have cards, we will know, you will have a little card that tells you when the child needs to come for medication to me. You will have a present from me on Sunday, it will look like this. Isn't it lovely? It contains gloves and Band-Aids. Because when you're out in the field, you're somewhere far away from me, you might need to slap a Band-Aid on. And here's another one of my Soto things from camp, story of the one. A child came to me with a little scratch. Oh, that's fine, I cleaned it up. Oh, you're fine, I need a Band-Aid. No, it doesn't really need a Band-Aid. It needs a Band-Aid. So when they want a Band-Aid, they get a Band-Aid, no matter what it is, because it's important to them. So I give you Band-Aids and a little gloves, so you might want to make sure you have a pocket or something to carry this around with you, just so that you can clean a kid up real quickly on the field. If you need to bring them to me, you bring them to me, or call me and I'll come to you. I will have other kinds of first aid treatment, like cold packs and things like that, but that's on my job. So as far as medications go, just remember that. All the children come to me for meds. If you want to use hand sanitizer, please do. The best thing is soap and water to wash your hands, and you do want to be washing your hands frequently before and after meals. Obviously, toileting, make sure the kids are doing that because they don't all know that behavior. And you will find, for those of you who don't frequently use hand sanitizer, that after a while you need to wash your hands. It gets pretty sticky on you. So that, and I did give you gloves if there's blood and you feel that you need to put gloves on to clean up any blood or secretions. That's why you have gloves. And I will replenish these however many times you need it to happen. Our last camp, we didn't have a lot of, thank you Lord, a lot of trauma that happened in the field. We did have some ice packs, we did have some Band-Aids, so that. Camp rules. Our mission is to create life-changing moments. So that's why we're here. There are a number of rules that are intended for your safety and the child's safety. Maria was talking about the liability insurance. Abe was telling you how much it cost us to have it. Part of that is to keep you safe from any appearance of inappropriate behavior. So there are a number of rules around that, and you will hear this over and over and over again. So I want to go over some of those rules for you. The first one being 2 deep. So 2 deep means 2 adults always with a child. There's never a child alone with an adult. So if a child needs to go to the bathroom, 2 adults go with that child to the bathroom. So it's always a logistical fun to figure out, how am I going to make sure that all the kids are covered, somebody's watching all of them, and 2 adults are with the child. So that is the 2 deep rule, and you'll hear us talk about that all the time. And you will have a buddy, so you will know, you'll ask your buddy, come with me, this child needs to go, and your colleagues will watch whatever other child there is involved in your big camper, little camper dyad. So
2 deep is serious.
2 deep is the
So we have
thing.
lots of fun, but 2 deep is serious.
Right. It
Okay.
can never be violated.
Alright.
That's the number 1 rule. So
And I would just add, that's why we have staff, non-volunteer staff.
Exactly.
Wherever you are, there will always be there will always be non-big camper staff around, and we've created the big way. You need a second adult around, just do
do
this,
this.
and somebody will respond.
One of us will find you.
Yeah.
And my thing with people who are not big campers, people who are called the staff members, my moral for the week is find a need and fill it. You can look around, you can see that somebody needs help, just go there and do it. And that is really what has made camp run smoothly. You were laughing at me about chapel, but that was my big thing in chapel. I always sat in the back of chapel, and I could see those fidget kids. So I would just go take the fidget kid out. And always somebody else with me, never just me, 2 deep. So there would be another staff member out. There's an area out in the back of chapel where the children can fidget. So that's part of it, is just find a need and fill it if you're a staff member. So 2 deep. And then private beds. Never sitting on a child's bed, never allowing a child to sit on their bed. If you're going to sit with a child, you're on the floor or you're in a chair. So that we avoid any suggestion where the child might say, well, we were laying on my bed and blah, 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 blah. Because that doesn't sound right. So, private beds. You are not on a bed with a child. The child is not allowed to be on your bed.
And don't let other kids go on other kids.
Exactly. Your bed is the one place that you get to be by yourself. The children are not allowed to be together on a bed either. So those rules are set up for your safety and for the child's safety as well. And personal touch. Maria's already demonstrated some of that. Personal touch, again, some of the children are Velcro kids. They get off the bus, they're in your arms. The rule of thumb with that is if the child is initiating the contact, you can redirect it. You never reject a child, never push them away. Okay, Maria's going to do the famous demonstration.
Come try to give me a hug.
So you never push them away.
Do it again.
Side hugs. You just turn yourself, seriously, as Maria did. Side hugs.
Side hug.
You can hug a child and touch a child if they want to be touched or like to be touched. Some of the grooming behaviors, we've talked a little bit about sexual predators and the grooming behaviors. Things like rubbing a back, not a good idea. A gentle hand on the shoulder, great. You want to touch the child to give them that connection to you, but you also want to be careful about how you're touching the child. Nothing down waist, nothing in the middle of the back. Shoulders are the best thing. Arm, touch the arm. My favorite picture from chapel with the two, Dan and Dee, and their hands just across the back of the bench, just touching hands. So those are the appropriate ways to touch a child. But you need to be careful that the children don't initiate, because some of these children have been groomed and they do know those behaviors and they do act way more mature than you would think a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old would act. So that is just redirecting that. Never a negative, never a rejection of that, but just to redirect it into an appropriate touch. Laps, piggyback rides, and front hugs.
Those are normal.
Well, those are things that you do with children. We do not give piggyback rides. They do not sit on your lap. They sit beside you. And again, the hugs, which we've demonstrated. So just for your own safety and also for the child, we want the child to understand what is appropriate and let them learn that. Because as I said, they may have learned something that's inappropriate. Photography. I don't know if you noticed, but all the pictures we've shown in the videos, you do not see the children's faces, nor are they recognizable. We never take pictures of the children's faces except for the memory books. They do have their picture taken in the memory book, but any pictures that are taken by the camp photographers, the child will have their back to, or they'll be far enough away that they're blurred in the background and you can't recognize them. And that's for the safety of the child. If these things get out, nothing is ever posted on social media. The camp and the organization will post what's appropriate on social media. We ask that you not post anything on social media from your experience at camp because it's dangerous for the children. Their biological parents, they won't be taking pictures now. You won't be taking pictures. You won't be having your cell phones with you, so you might want to practice that. We haven't mentioned this, but there is a staff room, big old room full of red vines and chocolate, soda, stuff like that. So while you are on duty as a big camper or staff member, your cell phone will be in that room. Your cell phone will not be with you. Children are not allowed to have cell phones with them. We're going to take them away at registration. And if we find them in camp, then we'll take them away in camp. So you will not be taking any pictures of your own. We do have staff photographers and they will be taking camp pictures for us. And again, they'll be posted on social media by the organization, the appropriate pictures. Your cell phones, of course, you can use them when you are in the staff lounge, away from the children, just so they don't see that happening. And you will be in the staff lounge. Don't think you're going to spend 100 straight hours with these kids, okay? There is a time, like pool time, when all the staff members will go and the counselors, the big campers, get to be off. if you will, time off. And in the evening, there's a meeting and time off as well. So you will be away from the children at times, and you will have opportunity to then connect with your families and use your cell phones, things like that. But during camp, no photography, no cell phones. Personal information, we ask that you not share any personal information. The child obviously is going to know your first name, but no addresses, no email addresses, no Facebook accounts, none of that. The connection with the child lasts for the week of camp. And right now, until we have a few years under our belt, we won't have a mentoring club, so there won't be an ongoing relationship with these children during the year after camp. And so we ask that you not share any personal information with the children. Again, it's for their protection and for your protection. And medication I already talked about, so that will be me. And you will all have name tags. And the purpose of name tags is to let the child know who's the safe people, that will all be identifiable by our name tags, and also so that you can address the children by name. Nothing is more powerful than using their own name. And that is the thing that we all want to do. You'll see Sunday afternoon, you'll be making signs for the kids with their names on them so that when they come up on the bus, they will see their name. And that is the most powerful thing for them, is to validate them. So again, always the name tag will always be on you. You never take it off when you're in camp, so that we all know who you are and the kids all know who you are. And again, the guidelines for a successful camp. We've said this before, be on time. Activities actually are timed, and so you need to be there. And because we're sharing camp, then we need to be at dinner at a certain time, we need to be in the pool, and they're in the chapel, we need to be in the chapel, and they're in the field, whatever. And so we do need to have it be on time. Abe.
What do you say when a little camper asks you for your contact?
What do you say, Abe? You just tell them you're not going to give it to them. You just, you have my name. It's not necessary. It's really not necessary. Yeah. And that's a tough one, because you want to do that in a way that doesn't reject them, but that's not a necessary piece of information for them to have.
And the flip side of that is that the campers that were in my cabin the year I was a big camper, their names and addresses were written all over their belongings. Their parents had posted them on, or their foster parents, whomever. And so you have to be purposeful yourself about just, putting that aside and not really looking at it very much, or maybe taking it off and putting it somewhere else in their luggage or something. But you will come across it, and you just have to just put it aside. We had that happen. We saw exactly where they did.
That's true, because they're labeling everything.
Right. Right.
Okay.